I'm going to go ahead and post that link in case you guys want some mushrooms. And again, as I always say, I throw in a couple little quick commercials like that. I'm not sponsored by any big companies or anything like that. That's my friend's company in Houston. I just shared the links. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, elsewhere, you could also find a banner at theconsciousresistance.com. I really do use them. So if you're interested, check them out. All right. The People's Reset, the People's Reset movement, like this, I'm not just talking about the event, which is happening starting Wednesday at 10 a.m., which is definitely something I want you guys to tune into and to focus on. By a show of hands, how many people have attended the People's Reset? Okay, I see a few of you out there. A show of hands, how many people have watched the Greater Reset when it was the Greater Reset or the People's Reset? We just renamed it at the end of January 2024 to the People's Reset. So this will be our first official, the People's Reset in Mexico. How many of you watched online? Okay, I see a few of you. We usually have 10,000 plus people watching throughout the 5 days from more than 25 countries. It's really pretty epic and amazing, I think, in my view. I'll show you the website really quickly. thepeoplesreset.org, thegreaterreset.org. Again, this is not just about this event. If you can't come in person, that's fine. If you can watch it online for free, that's great. I encourage you to. But what this event represents are 5 holistic themes. If you took these ideas seriously and applied them to your life, you will actually see change. What do we got here? We got liberate your mind, body, and soul. So that's physical, mental, spiritual health, permaculture, and food independence. We got to be off their control grid, the food paradigm. We can't depend on the big box grocery stores and count on them to be there to save us forever. Agorism and parallel networks. We need to build the systems we want to see. We can't count on these legacy systems. I see a lot of people tell me, Derrick, like, we need to save the republic and restore the republic, or no, we just need to go back and just get the Constitution working again. Look, guys, that's not my position. I come from a family that was mostly colonized over the last 500 years. And so to me, yeah, there's a lot of great things about the West and about the United States and North America more broadly. But I'm also not somebody who's like trying to quote unquote save history. I'm not saying we should burn everything down and start over or anything necessarily, but I do think we need new systems, take the best of what we've had and remember the worst and build something better. I'm not trying to just save what's already there. I think mostly that comes from the fact that I don't have a lot of anything. I've got land. Oh, by the way, if you follow me on social media, you saw that we paid off our land this week. I'm not just talking to you about this. I'm actually living it. We went to the land this week and picked avocados and picked bananas. We're planting more fruit trees. We're starting to map out our homes. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I'm actually doing these things. And so we have to build the systems that we think are actually going to lead to the life that we want. I'm not after trying to restore things and save the republic and this and that. I think we are at a point now where we need to, like I said, take the best of the past. Don't forget the things that matter, but build new systems that actually do align with our values and our principles. I think that's the real answer. And that's what the People's Reset is about. The 4th day is called Empowering Technology. We're talking about Web3, decentralized privacy messengers. We're talking about health technology, like people using different types of cutting edge tech to heal their bodies and heal themselves. We're talking about technology like energy. Like we're going to have this company called Eden who's going to be speaking on day 4 for Empowering Technology, which is Saturday, talking about how they're already building these devices. I don't even know all about it. That's why I invited them to speak. But they're powering homes in Africa. They're like recycling waste for people and using that as an energy source, things like that. Then you have building free and conscious communities. How do we organize ourselves in our cities and our towns and our neighborhoods and our homesteads and our eco-villages and our intentional communities, whatever it is you have? How do we organize ourselves? How do we create a free human from birth to adolescence, through childhood, all the way into adulthood, right? These are important things. You can get off big tech now. You can start focusing on your food production. And like right now, last weekend, we bought this little bucket where you can start growing mushrooms at home, because we eat a lot of mushrooms and they're very widely available, but that might not always be there. So even though I have the abundance and I can go to the local markets, why not create that abundance where it's just growing in our own houses? And before we know it, we don't have to go anywhere. We can just go in the backyard and pick the mushrooms or pick the crops that we want and actually get closer to our food, get taking care of our mental health as well. If you follow the conscious resistance, you know that I've focused on this for years. We can't build a better world until we heal our own trauma. A revolution without healing is a recipe for disaster. That's a quote from the first book of the Conscious Resistance trilogy, Reflections on Anarchy and Spirituality. I wrote that 10 years ago. We can't create the better world without doing this. I know. So I had this one guy, actually, let me tell you guys an interesting anecdote real quick. I had this one guy on Twitter tell me, your event looks like it's for a bunch of hippies. And I said, I don't even know what that means. Like, people I've been called a hippie. I don't even understand that term. It's not something I identify with, but it's just funny how people throw these labels. And I said, well, actually, our event's really diverse. We have people who are like, homesteaders that might be considered conservative rednecks. We've got, sure, some people who might be considered hippies, I guess, or new age even, or people who live in the city, people who live in the countryside. We got people coming from Mexico, from Canada, from elsewhere. It's like they watched a 1-minute video, the one I played earlier, and they're like, I don't know, I wouldn't be attracted to that. That just looks like a bunch of left liberals that I'd see at my local coffee shop or something. And not only was it very closed-minded and I think judgmental, it's just like people will make any excuse to avoid doing anything. Like right now in Morelia, people are arriving. I'm getting messages right now while I'm doing this show. People are arriving from all over the world. More people are going to be arriving tomorrow. And then Wednesday morning when our event starts, even more people are arriving. And Thursday, people are coming from all over the world. We got speakers like Amanda Rose, who's Larkin Rose's wife, coming, Jason Christoph, so many people coming from around the world. They had to spend time, money, energy. They had to find a place to stay, whether it's an Airbnb or a local hotel or, doing a hostel. They have to, get a flight. They put time and energy to come here, to connect with people, to share their ideas, to network, whatever it is that brought them here. There are going to be 300 to 400 people coming from around the world. We're going to spend the next week just having an amazing time and inspiring and activating and motivating each other. And yet at the same time, I meet people on the internet who will come up with any fucking excuse they can to not do anything. Oh, those just look like a bunch of hippies. I can never get along with that. He told me, put a tractor in your People's Reset promo, and maybe that'll attract more conservative people or something like that. Which we have an entire day dedicated to food and growing your own food. But because of this person's own closed-mindedness, they're going to miss out. He's like, nah, I don't think I'll tune into that. I probably wouldn't even bother because of it, and the people in a 1-minute video aren't driving a tractor or whatever other judgments he had. And at the end of the day, I've long ago recognized that I can only reach who I'm meant to reach. I'm not going to lose sleep like, oh, dang, did I not attract the right, that demographic or this and that? Everybody has a different crowd that they appeal to. People might look at me and because I have long hair, they make whatever judgments or whatever stupid shit they're stuck on. But really, at the end of the day, as I told this gentleman on Twitter, that's a reflection of you. That's a reflection of your closed-mindedness. That's a reflection of your fear, of your interaction, of your paralysis. And this guy was even saying, hey, I'm doing some of this. I've got a homestead. I'm growing food. And so I was saying, great, maybe you'll learn more. Maybe you'll network with other people. But I truly believe for us to survive and thrive in the face of this technocratic state that is staring us in the face, we need to get past our doubts, our fears, our insecurities, and our limiting beliefs. And you might actually have to work with people of different political views or work with people who have different opinions and different perspectives. I know that's very scary for some of you, and you'd rather stay in a little fucking bubble and never talk to anybody different. But I don't think you're going to make it. Sorry, I don't think you will survive. And in fact, what kind of a boring life would that be, just to be surrounded by a bunch of people who believe the same exact thing as you? I get it's nice to be around like-minded people, but I don't want to be in a bubble and just hang out with other people who just have the exact same views. You'll never be challenged, right? So anyways, my point is, people can come up with all kinds of reasons why not to come in person or why not to watch online. And even if you don't watch it live, like I said, we post all of these talks for free on our Odyssey channel. You search the Greater Reset or the People's Reset, and you'll find 6 playlists from the Greater Reset 1 through 5, the Greater Reset, the People's Reset UK, actually 7, and then an online event we did totally dedicated to technology called the D3 Tech Summit. All 7 of those playlists, all of the talks we've ever given and shared since January 2020 are available for free on mental, spiritual health, on permaculture and growing food, building parallel systems, homeschooling, unschooling, technology, D3, Web3, community building, organizing. There's so many ideas there. And if you are actually trying to create solutions for yourself and your family, then you will take action. And I see it when the people come to our event and they're out there in the audience and they're taking notes, and you can just tell people like they're excited and they're going to go home and they're going to take that energy back to their communities, and it's just going to keep growing. And our plan is to keep doing this every year to 2030 and beyond. But the goal is not to just keep coming back and having a good time and patting each other on the back. The goal is to come back year to year and say, hey, are you growing your food now? Hey, did you get off big tech and now you're using Linux and only privacy messaging services? Hey, are you homeschooling your kids? Hey, you got land too? And we watch and encourage and motivate each other. That's the people's reset. That's exit and build. Exit from the coming slavery systems and build and or support those who are building the new ones, because you will not save yourself and your family with Donald Trump, through politics, through violence, and you're definitely not saving anybody with apathy. And maybe you say, Derrick, I'm not here to save anybody. I'm just here to get what I want out of life. Then great, you do that. You be passive. You sell out your ancestors. You sell out the coming generations. But myself and some of us, I know not all of us, but some of us, we're going to take on that challenge. We're going to say, you know what? Nothing else is more important right now than me putting everything I got into this so that my children and the children after them and the generations after them that I will never meet, the 7 generations and beyond, that they might have a chance for liberty, for real freedom. That's what this is about. That's what this is really about. It's not just about you. It's about the people coming after you. Okay. And you are selling out your ancestors, I think, and you have to take action. You have to take action in your own life. There's no other way around it, my friends. You can sit around and trust Trump. You can sit around and trust Elon Musk or Peter Thiel, or you can wait for the left wing to come back with their guys, who Gavin Newsom or whoever's going to come and claim to save the day, or you can be a part of the biggest, most solutions-focused movement in the world, the People's Reset, the conscious resistance. This is what we're about, my friends. We're not going to blow smoke up your ass. We're not going to tell you that things are perfect. We're not going to tell you that there are no problems, that there are no, that there's no way around this. We are going to give you the real solutions, and that's all that matters, my friends. That's the answer to our problems, is us coming together and taking responsibility for our lives and saving the coming generations and honoring our ancestors. I mean, that's what it really comes down to, because as I've said before, every one of us, no matter what part of this planet we come from, no matter what skin color you have, no matter what language you speak, our ancestors had to go through blood, sweat, and tears to get us to be alive and existing in this moment right now in 2025, January 27th, 8:02 p.m. Central Time. They had to go through hard work to get us here. And if you refuse to take action and you just say, I'm just going to be apathetic, I'm going to do nothing, or I'm just going to trust Trump, or I'm just going to, believe that violence is going to be the way, or whatever other sort of false solutions, anti-principles, as Samuel Konkin used to call them, whatever those come your way, do not be deceived by them. As I said earlier in the show, you're going to have 2 things happening in the coming years. You're going to see more and more people who you trust and who you think should know better, who are going to fall for the psyops, because things are going to get more difficult. There's going to be a difficult period as we are exiting from the systems and as the system is collapsing around us, while they're trying to sell us this golden age of America, which might come with some benefits, but it's also going to come with the loss of privacy and freedom, and eventually a chip in your hand or a chip in your brain. So as this system progresses, we're going to watch people that we know about, care about, and love sell out. And we're also going to watch people exit. Which group are you going to be in? I know what I'm in. I know what I'm doing. I've dedicated my life to this, to sharing this message to people, to trying to give examples of this. I did the 45-day exit and build challenge 7 weeks prior to the US election. We're going to have a landing page for that very soon to share with you guys. So you can take your 45-day exit and build challenge. I actually had somebody email me the other day and said, Derrick, I took the 45-day exit and build challenge. It took me a little longer than 45 days, but I did it. And guess what? I'm on Linux now. I'm using privacy messengers. I learned this thing and that thing. Like, they're actually taking the homework and taking the ideas that I shared in that challenge and that I shared in my book and using them. And that's what the People's Reset is about as well. It's not just a conference. It's not just a festival. It's not just a party. It's all of those things, but it's an activation, because you come inspired and motivated and excited, and you leave home feeling activated and ready to go home and change shit. That's how change really happens. It starts little by little, piece by piece, heart, mind by mind, and heart by heart, person to person. I don't believe liberty can really happen on a mass scale. Sure, you can have government come along and say, hey, we're going to pass a law and do this big thing. And there might be some good that comes out of it, but ultimately, liberty happens in our hearts and in our minds. We have to claim it. We have to want it. And it happens when we show each other an example of another free, powerful, beautiful person who is claiming their self-ownership and their self-governance, right? That's what it really happens. That's why I try to walk the walk and talk the talk, because I'm not going to be very convincing telling you guys about these ideas while not living them, right? And I'm not saying it's easy, but I don't use the banking system. You guys learned that I had a debanking experience recently, even though I wasn't even using banks, had PayPal issues, have other issues. I know why I don't want to be sucked into that system. I don't want the Stargate. I don't want the mRNA injections. I don't want the AI controlling everything. I don't want the technocrat king. I don't want the North American technate. What do I want? I want clean water. I want organic, clean food. I want clean skies. I want fresh living soil. I want community, like-minded people who are working on themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually to try to be the best versions of ourselves as we encourage and uplift each other to be an example to other people, to recognize that we're not perfect, but that with the Creator's creation and love and support and backing and energy, we can create something magnificent. And through that, we can teach that to other people. We can be example for more people so that those 7 coming generations actually have a chance and they have a choice. Do you want to go to this technocratic state, the you will own nothing and be happy, golden age of America? Or do you want to see what we're building over here, where we respect individual liberty and bodily autonomy and privacy and mutual aid, and we come together to focus on real solutions and to support each other? That's what I'm focused on. I'm honoring my ancestors and I'm fighting for the coming generations by focusing on the people's reset. It's not about the World Economic Forum. It's not about Donald Trump saving the day. It's about you and me coming together and putting aside our differences and saying, how can we leave behind something better than what we each found for the coming generations? How can we honor our ancestors and build something beautiful that will make them proud, and all the struggle they had to go through will not be for nothing? That's what I'm focused on, my friends. And I really, truly hope you guys will join me in that journey. I'll just remind you guys again, the People's Reset 2025 starts Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. You can find the full schedule, the list of speakers, the workshop schedule for those who are coming in person. We have a Spanish version of the website. We're going to have family activities, art. We got a new art gallery going on. We got Dub Effects coming to perform for those of you who know Dub Effects. And I'm going to be performing some of my music. I'm about to have one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's always one of my favorite times of the year. So I'm super stoked about it. And I'm sad you guys won't all be there, but I'm grateful for those who are coming, and I can't wait to hang out with you. I hope you guys will tune in live if you can. And if not, look out for the recordings. I will be sharing my talk really soon. In fact, I'll just mention my talk is called The Trials and Tribulations of Building a Parallel Community. And I'll be sharing how in 2017, I wrote a book calling for the conscious agora, this eco-village idea. And now, as of just last week, we paid off the land and we have the property and we're starting to build this year. It's taken 8 years to get to that point, and a lot of effort and energy and time to find the right people to find the land. And so my talk is going to be all about just being real about what it takes to try to build a parallel community. So stay tuned for that, guys. thegreaterreset.org, thepeoplesreset.org. I hope to see you online or in person. Last thing, if you want to support my work, guys, go to theconsciousresistance.com/invest. Support me on Buy Me a Coffee, Substack. You can send cash or love mail or hate mail to my P.O. box. And of course, you can donate via crypto. I'll take Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Monero. And thank you guys so much for being here with me. And
since 2012, the Conscious Resistance Network has been an independent media organization focused on empowering individuals through education, philosophy, health, and community organizing. We work to create a world where corporate and state power do not rule over the lives of free human beings. Our motto is leading by example and helping others in their pursuit of freedom. Visit theconsciousresistance.com to find our articles, documentaries, interviews, podcasts, books, and more. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free.